What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today I thought I'd give you guys my thoughts and impressions on Thanos and Ultron's new uniforms. And first of all, guys, both these uniforms look pretty amazing, right? Thanos looks just godly in this thing. I absolutely love it. The only thing and the only criticism I have aesthetically wise, as far as Thanos is concerned, is where's the beard? I really wish he would have had the beard. He would have looked so much cooler, but still, it is badass. And Ultron, Ultron looks great. He looks awesome, right? I mean, he looks just like he does in Infinity Ultron World Boss. I mean, he looks amazing, right? Quality, quality, quality. Looking characters, amazing. But are they more than just looks, right? I mean, and the answer is, well, Thanos, I think probably so. Ultron, for some players, maybe yes. But for some players, probably not. We'll start off with Thanos. So as far as Thanos is concerned, so far I've only tested him in PvE. Now before we get into that, I'll show you guys with these skills. Now they did a lot for this character. They changed his tier 3 a little bit around, which is pretty nice. I'm really glad they added that 100% attack proc. That's really cool. The increased damage dealt to targets with remove all debuff, that is godly, man. That is very, very awesome, especially for PvP. And I'm pretty sure this does work in World Boss Legend as well. There was times where it seemed like he was doing more damage whenever his debuff was up. And then the one, you can move this skill around, but it's a very short skill. But it would come in handy, like in PvP especially. Well, really in PvE as far as surviving. You'll find Thanos is actually pretty damn tanky. You don't really have to worry about him too much there. And then he's got to remove all buff on his second skill. He's got the increased attack buff on his third skill, which is pretty godly. Well, not godly, but nice. The fourth skill is godly, though, because it has ignore iframe. It has penetration. It has immunity to all debuffs. I mean, it's got fracture. I mean, this is a very good skill. This is his bread and butter, at least for PvP, and really in some PvE situations as well. And then his fifth skill does have a nice attack buff, and it does have an all defense down up to 60%, right? His passive gives him a nice little heal whenever he's attacked. He also gives increased damage to superheroes, which is really going to be good for PvP. And then his leadership is just amazing. Applies to all villain allies. They remove all debuff. They increase basic attack by 25%. I mean, it's really sweet. It's really sweet. Thanos looks pretty awesome, and his skills are, these things are awesome. I mean, look at his fifth skill, right? You see Proxima, you see Corvus coming out. That is lit, guys. And you can pretty much cancel the skill as soon as he goes into his iframe. That is awesome. And you can get all the residual damage from it, right? And then you see the fourth skill, where he's just slamming down his weapon, right? Throws it out there and then shoots a beam. Pretty cool. Nice little combination of things that he's doing. I really like it. And then the second skill, he just kind of throws around his weapon a little bit. The one skill where he can move around a little bit, but it's just really short. Like, well, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. And you can get residual damage from that thing. Like, you can literally cancel it. Well, you gotta go into an iframe first. Here, let me try that again. Right? And there you can see that you get the damage from the 1, you get damage from the 5, all at once along with the 4, so that's pretty nice. And then you have the third skill, right? That's awesome. You see Call coming in there, right? And the third skill is pretty cool because it actually switches characters. So you just saw Call, right? Now you're seeing Super Giant. That is badass. And then you hit it again, and you'll see Ebony. Isn't that cool? That is so wild. I love it. That is wild. That is so awesome. I freaking love it. And then his tier 3, right? I mean, his tier 3 looks pretty much the same. He goes to a nice long iframe. And we all know in PvP, because of that long tier 3, a lot of times he could kill enemies once that tier 3 finished because it'd still continuously go. And I haven't tested him in PvP because, again, I was just testing him in PvE earlier. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest build. He's just got normal ranked uniform and then the Power of Angry Hawk set. And I was just testing him with this proc. And, like, again, in PvE-wise, Thanos just really wasn't doing the greatest, guys. I mean, like I said, I did a little comparison off the video where I was comparing him to Ultron, and Ultron was doing more damage than Thanos without a damage proc obelisk, right? Without an obelisk at all. So that just goes to show you and tell you that Thanos really is going to be the greatest for World Boss Legend, for PvE, guys. I mean, he's going to be pretty much a PvP character, and all of his skills pretty much reveal that and show it. But I do think he is going to be godly for PvP. He will be pretty insane for that. A big problem with Thanos right now, at least when I tested him in PvP so far, is he doesn't have any super armor. He doesn't have any immunity to guard break. I really wish they would have gave him immunity to guard break. That would have been insanely good, because then you could have put a different obelisk on him, and it would have been easier to find a good obelisk for him, right? You could have had a double HP obelisk with invincibility if he would have had an immunity to guard break. But he doesn't, so you're kind of forced to give him an immunity to guard break obelisk. And I'll probably end up giving him a CTB regeneration, because he already does have penetration on his tier 3 and on his 4 skill, so he really doesn't need it. So look forward to that. And now we get into Ultron. Now, Ultron, I mean, he looks amazing, right? And I don't have a very good build on him at all, right? I don't have, by the way, guys, I mean, Ultron was doing more damage than Thanos, even, you know, without Urus, right? And Ultron is strong. I mean, it's a god tier upgrade for him. It's a big upgrade. I'm probably going to end up leveling him up quite a bit more, getting some Urus on him, jacking up quite a bit, and he really does look like he's going to be optimal with a rage. But I do think the character can play with a proc. But I mean, because of his critical damage buff, his critical damage is almost pretty much maxed out right now, which is actually pretty awesome. And his skills are just all at 6. Now, they did do a tremendous amount for him. His tier 3 is pretty lackluster. And you really do want to put the damage proc on the tier 3, it seems, because it does have this increased 100% for one attack. It does do a lot of damage. And then his passive, you know, is the ignore target dodge rate is awesome, especially for null. And the decreased basic damage received is amazing to really help with survivability. And the 1s, nothing, and the 2s, you know, gives him a nice little immunity. And this is on a 3.5 second cooldown. So you can get this immunity up almost all the time. That is awesome. And then his 3rd skill, he does have damage accumulation. It's a real shame this accumulation doesn't rise. It stays at 0.5% no matter what, guys. And that sucks. And I honestly think that Ultron needs a little bit more. I've said it over and over and over when it comes to villains. They need to be super strong. You can't use a villain past stage 9 until stage 35 against Null. You can't use a villain against Mephisto until like stage 40. After stage 9, I mean, that's up there. You need strong characters to be able to do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying you need super strong characters. And until I get him leveled up and really max him out, I won't really know if he can do it or not, right? And then his 4th skill, he does have a 30% recovery heal. That's awesome, especially along with the decreased damage received by 40%. It's really nice, guys. The invincibility is only for 3 seconds, and he doesn't have any native super armor. So what happens a lot of times when you're facing Null is he gets guard broken, guys. It's really annoying. He gets knocked back, and that sucks. Now, if you have your tier 3 up, you got 6 seconds of invincibility, so you don't have to really worry about it then. But he can get knocked back, and that is, I mean, it's annoying. It's stupid. Like, they really should have had a longer invincibility on the skill. And then the 5th skill does give him a nice attack buff. I really feel like Ultron, something that's hurting him is he doesn't really do a lot of hits. He does have a nice little passive here with the increase of HP, the critical rate, and the critical damage, which signifies the CTP of rage. And I do have a rage I might slap on him to see how well he does. And then the increased attack is nice for himself as far as his leadership is concerned, but it's really not that good. There just aren't that many characters that are machine types that are really worth a crap. And villain wise, yeah, it's pretty damn scarce. But his skills look pretty cool, right? His 5th skill looks pretty awesome. You can cancel the 4th skill immediately and the 3rd skill immediately to get the accumulation. But if you look at the 3rd skill and watch it play out, right, does a little beam, but he gets the accumulation right away, which is nice. You got the 2nd skill. This gives him that immunity. Pretty cool. I wish he had a movable skill, right? Because Ultron can fly around, but okay. His 4th skill, you can cancel that thing immediately and get all the damage from it, which is nice. And then the 5th skill, right? He just doesn't do a lot of hits, right? I mean, look at this, guys. So let me do 3, 4, 5, right? That's the rotation that you'd probably be using. 3, 4, 5, right? And see how many hits he does. Okay, so he does 171 hits between 3 opponents, right? And 171 divided by 3 is what, like 30 some hits? Well, no, it's like what, 60 some hit, about around 60 hits, a little less than 60 hits per opponent that he's facing. That's not really a lot. I really wish it would be higher, but his tier 3 is awesome. Like, this thing is lit, right? And this is with the SFX off, right? And it does do some pretty decent damage, right? And I did do a little comparison with him and Moonstone. And, you know, honestly, I mean, Ultron is strong. He does have some power, but I really need to kind of level him up a little bit more to really find out just how much power he really has. It's kind of hard to tell right now, to be honest, guys, with without having Urus on him. And then he just has a stage 5 overdrive set. I mean, really, the comparison that I did earlier between him and Moonstone was really pretty unfair because she's got a fully awakened Power Ranger Rock set. She has Urus on her, Odin's Blessings on her, and he didn't have anything at all, right? And he was about, 20, 30 seconds behind her, which, I mean, if I had him built exactly the same, I mean, the outcome would have been very, very different. And this is a completely free-to-play character. He isn't a deluxe pack character, right? And if he's like, I mean, if he's on par with Moonstone, guys, that is that's something, right? So I need to test him a little further to give you an accurate assessment of his power level. And I don't even have his artifact on him. And if you do have his artifact on him, and again, when I was testing earlier, I didn't have this on him, you do get an increase all base attack by 20%, right? And if you're playing Ultron, you were able to get this artifact. That's something that's actually nice about this character, is that you can actually get his artifact to give him an extra 20% all attack. And he is an energy-based character, and a lot of players have more energy attack than physical attack on their cards. I mean, so I need to test him a little bit more, but again, I didn't use an obelisk on him. I mean, let me know what you guys would like to see. I mean, do you want to see him with a rage? Because I think that's really going to be good for him. But he does play well with the proc, guys. I could use one of these mighties on him and just try to push as high in world boss as possible. Let me know if you guys would like to see that, or if you just like to see a regular CTP of energy, or the CTP of rage, as far as what you would like to play with. But if I were you, I would just hold off on Ultron for a little bit and let players kind of max him out and test him out to see how strong he's going to be. I mean, it is a god tier upgrade, guys. It really, really is. The uniform is worth buying as far as his power level compared to what he was, because he was complete shite before. But is it going to be good enough? Is he going to be slamming out stage 35 plus Null? Is he going to be slamming out stage 40 plus Mephisto? I mean, that's a tall order, guys. It takes a lot of power for characters to do that, especially if they're not using... Well, I mean, in all, I mean, they don't need reforged CTPs to do those levels. But if you start going in higher and higher levels, it gets pretty difficult. And Thanos, I'll definitely be slapping a CTP or regeneration on him to see how well he can actually do in PvP. So let me know what you guys would like to see first. Do you want to see Thanos in PvP first? Do you want to see Ultron maxed out first? And let me know what kind of obelisk you'd like me to put on him. But so far, I am fairly impressed, especially with Thanos. I mean, as far as PvP potential, super, super impressed. Ultron, definitely god tier upgrade compared to what he was, but I need to level him up to really get a better assessment of how strong he actually is. So let me know what you guys think about both of these characters. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.